In 1985, I helped found a company. I learned how America competes with companies in other countries.
The money he has that he didn't inherit is what he made as a private equity mogul, shutting down companies, liquidating their assets, and firing their American workers.
Later, when I served as governor of Massachusetts, I used the skills I had learned in 25 years in business to streamline state government.
To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. And that kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote.
Romney is one of the biggest flip-floppers to ever grace the GOP stage.
I believe that abortion should be safe and legal in this country.
I believe people understand that I'm firmly pro-life.
You just can't trust a word he says.
I have never seen a guy change his positions on so many things so fast.
I have never supported the President's Recovery Act, all right, the stimulus. No time, nowhere, no how have I supported the President's stimulus.
I think there is need for economic stimulus. Americans have lost about $11 trillion in net worth, and government can help make that up in a very difficult time.
He was pro-gun control. Now he becomes a lifetime member of the NRA.
Mitt Romney. Would you agree with Thomas Jefferson that the strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves from tyranny and government?
I don't know that that's highly relevant today, but certainly that's a legal reason for being able to keep a firearm, and I believe that people ought to be able to have a firearm to protect themselves. I believe in the Second Amendment.
In that case, why did you vote in favor of the Brady bill and the assault weapons ban?
I didn't actually vote.
I beg your pardon, why did you support them? You have come out publicly saying that you supported the assault weapons ban and the Brady bill.
Yeah, and will you give the microphone back to the guy? How many more questions you got?
Yeah, my final question, if you don't understand the intent of the Constitution, how can you be trusted to defend it? And who will defend it from you?
Okay.
Governor Romney, as president, would you have signed the National Defense Act as written?
Yes, I would have, and I do believe that it's appropriate.
You'll find that I've been as consistent as human beings can be.
If you're looking for someone who's never changed any positions on any policies, then I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy.
Remember earlier this year how Romney got $1 million donation from an organization that just suddenly ceased to exist the next day?
I did hear that there was a company formed which gave your campaign $1 million. Do you remember this a few weeks ago? So, can you explain that?
Yeah, there's a guy named Ed Conard who had a company. I think he was going to give to a bunch of candidates, and then he decided not to. And we gave $1 million to a PAC that supports me, and then he said, "Oh, it's me." So yeah, and well, there's no need for him to have the company if he's not going to give to other candidates. So he gave to me. He's given to me before, one of my partners. So it's not hidden. It's all out in the open.
But that is. See, there's the spirit of something, and then there's the legalities of something. And it just seems that this company was formed just in relation to the Supreme Court ruling to give money to your campaign and then dissolve itself.
And given the fact that you may, yeah, it was a company, you say, acting as a person, yeah, I didn't get you, that may well be, you take it up with him.
Really someone wanting to give Romney the money while staying in the shadows.
Mitt Romney stealing all of Barack Obama's big dollar Wall Street donors.
A good chunk of his funds came from his buddies on Wall Street, like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America.
To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. That kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote.
But look, I'm not going to spend my time going after Ben Bernanke. I'm not going to take my effort and focus on the Federal Reserve.
Should the chairman of the Federal Reserve be appointed again?
I think he's doing a good job.
You do?
Yes, I do. And I think it's important to have the Fed as an independent agency. I do not think you want to have the Congress of the United States trying to pull strings at the Fed.
He physically, personality-wise, comes across as if he was designed by East German scientists to be the perfect android politician.
I thought it was such a disastrous interview for Mitt Romney.
Romney's donations from lobbyists actually come to more than all of his GOP counterparts combined.
Do you really want this cat to be president?
Romney can't win. He's dead in the water.
There are a lot of reasons not to elect me.
Now, I'm a conservative businessman.
Time and again, the White
White House has pointed to the Massachusetts law as the model for its Obamacare.
I agree with Mitt Romney. He's right.
Jimmy Carter is throwing his weight behind Mitt Romney.
Those who follow the path that we pursued will find us the best path.
I like mandates. In my book, I said no such thing. I stand by what I wrote.
Noting that the line about doing the same thing for everyone in the country has been deleted.
Why, if it's good for Massachusetts and it's working in Massachusetts, would you apply it to the rest of the country?
I would. I'm running for office, for Pete's sake.
Who is this guy? Can you trust him?
I have never supported the President's Recovery Act, all right, the stimulus. No time, nowhere, no how.
I think there is need for economic stimulus.
You're only allowed a certain number of flips before people begin to doubt your character.
The big issue with Mitt Romney has been the issue of abortion. Has he flip-flopped on abortion?
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose.
The right next step in the fight to preserve the sanctity of life is to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
He was pro-choice, then he's pro-life.
Or he flip-flops again, just like he did on abortion, just like he did on Ronald Reagan.
Look, I was an independent during the time of Reagan-Bush. I'm not trying to return to Reagan-Bush.
The principles that Ronald Reagan espoused are as true today as they were when he spoke them.
There you go again.
You remember Mitt Romney? He invented Obamacare before he was against it. You remember?
Well, that's what we did in Massachusetts, and that is we put together an exchange, and the president's copying that idea. I'm glad to hear that. Obamacare is bad news, and if I'm president of the United States, I will repeal it. I don't think I've ever hired an illegal in my life. We hired a lawn company to mow our lawn, and they had illegal immigrants that were working there.
Flip-flop Mitt.
But I believe the world is getting warmer. I believe that humans contribute to that. My view is that we don't know what's causing climate change on this planet.
Mitt Romney's reputation as a flip-flopper who changes position because of political expedience.
If Republicans didn't like Mitt Romney's position on the so-called union-busting proposal in Ohio, all they had to do is wait one day before he changed it.
I'm not speaking about the particular ballot issues.
But by today, Romney had a different answer.
I fully support Governor Kasich's, I think it's called Question 2 in Ohio.
He's changed his position on a number of issues.
Republican Mitt Romney says he will not sign a no new taxes pledge.
I'm proud to be the only major candidate for president to sign the tax pledge.
Your view has changed so dramatically.
I just signed a piece of legislation extending the ban on certain assault weapons. I do not support any new legislation of an assault weapon ban nature.
Experts are predicting kind of a tough fight between Romney and his biggest ideological opponent, Mitt Romney from 4 years ago. Those guys don't agree on anything.
And there are two Mitt Romneys.
This guy has played both sides of the fence with equal fervor.
The TARP got paid back, and it kept the financial system from collapsing.
So you feel it was well worth it?
Well, it was the right thing to do. TARP ought to be ended. TARP ought to be ended.
Mitt Romney flip-flopped again. He's trying to take credit for saving the auto industry.
I'm not willing to sit back and say too bad for Michigan, too bad for the car industry.
After he proposed letting the auto industry die.
That's exactly what I said. Let Detroit go bankrupt. Let Detroit go bankrupt.
You're only allowed a certain number of flips before people begin to doubt your character.
I think people understand that I'm a man of steadiness and constancy.
Who is this guy? Can you trust him?
Mitt Romney's reputation as a flip-flopper who changes position. He's changed his position on a number of issues.
The mixed messages are what did it.
Some people are going to see those changes of minds as awfully politically convenient. It's an issue of character.
The core issues for a man, as you said earlier, who doesn't seem to have a core.
Corporations are people, my friend.